Hi, Anna. Thanks for joining me today on this interview. I'm excited to share your story because, as we were just talking about before I hit record, there's a lot of different layers to this to make
Yes.
this achievement that you've lived through happen. So I'd love to dive into all of them. Um, for those who don't know, though, you are essentially a successful real estate agent in Montreal right now. And that might sound like it's just a simple thing how you became a real estate agent, but there's really a lot more to this because you made a big change in your life. So could you maybe go back in time to, I'm assuming, was it Mexico City that you were,
That's correct.
that you began this? So
Yes.
you're in Mexico City. When did this thought of I'm going to move to Montreal to become a real estate agent enter your mind? Because it doesn't seem like the obvious choice from Mexico City.
No, it's not the obvious choice. I had a real estate agency in Mexico since 1993. I've been doing commercial real estate there, commercial as of big pieces of land to build shopping malls, big deals. I mean, the smallest deal at that time was $1.5 million US. Or finding property for commercial clients, like to build buildings or shopping malls or restaurants or these kind of things. Uh, in 1998, I visited Montreal for the first time. And the first morning, after my coffee, I left the hotel and I was hit by Cupid and I fell in love with the city. I decided there that I wanted to live here. It was 1998. I didn't know how. I wanted to come here. My real estate business brought me to have a cargo security business with one of my clients. And because of that, as a consequence, I was visiting Montreal 6 to 10 times per year. So I started getting to know the city. In 2003, I decided I wanted to move to Montreal. So I took my things, I sold my share, I put my real estate company to sleep, and I moved to Montreal as a tourist, not as a resident, because I didn't qualify for the residency.
Okay.
So I tried to start another business, and then I realized what I like is real estate, and I was not going to do something that I didn't like.
Okay.
To
How old were
make
you
a
then when you did that?
40,
Okay. So it's a pretty big life choice to make because you've already had a career and you knew you knew Mexico City. You spoke obviously Spanish. When you're in Montreal, it's English and French. So was there any kind of worries about that part of the move?
yes, because my French at that time was like zero, so I didn't speak French, but half of the city of Montreal speaks English. So I moved to the English part of Montreal, that is the west side of St. Lawrence. So, and because of the law, because it's Canada, for services, you can choose the language you want to be spoken to. So I chose Spanish, English. A lot of people from Latin America and Spain are coming, so I was speaking English or Spanish, mainly English, but English or Spanish. Uh, to make a long story shorter, in 2004, I found a lawyer that could have made me qualify for the residency. At that time, and I don't have children, so when you try to move without children to a new country, you don't qualify because I'm 40, I don't have kids, and I'm going to cost money to the country instead of produce money to the country, so I didn't qualify.
Okay.
Finally, I found a lawyer who made me qualify, but at that time I was bankrupt because I lived 2 years by my savings and I didn't produce any money. I went back to Mexico to restart my real estate business there to try to get enough money to come back to Montreal with a cushion of money enough
Hmm.
to live for at least 5 years without producing anything.
Oh wow, how much money was that? Were you thinking?
$500,000.
Okay, that's a big chunk of change.
Yeah. And not because I spend a lot of money, just because I need to live here, I need to pay for school, I need to start a business, and the business costs money. And if you don't have the peace of mind that you can pay your bills and you can put a plate of rice in your table, you cannot focus.
Hmm.
I was bankrupt in Mexico for 4 years, and it was very difficult to focus. And when I mean bankrupt is when you have $50 to survive 10 days, including the gas in your car and the food and the rent. So
that was when you came back from
that's when
Montreal.
I came back in
Okay,
2004 to Mexico City.
Okay, that must have been very challenging to keep finding the energy to change something because you have no money.
It's hell.
It's hell.
I have a good friend that now she tells me, Anna, I will never forget one call when you called me to Montreal and you were crying and you were saying, I am so bankrupt that I don't know what to do. I think what it saved all this is that I was 100% focused to come back to Montreal. For me, Montreal is home. So when I moved back to Mexico, I put all my furniture in a locker and I paid for storage for 4 years.
Wow.
My family was telling me, Anna, you're crazy, sell the furniture. You have been here for 3 years. And it's like, you don't understand. I live in Montreal. This is temporary. So when you're like this, I think like a horse or a mule, I just could look forward. For me, it was no more options. I want to move forward and to go one day at a time. So I got an employee. I mean, I got a job who was paying enough to pay the rent and the food and the storage in Montreal. And I was working there from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. because that is regular working time in Mexico. And then I start working real estate from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. to try to rebuild it. And this is because my commercial real estate, because of the size of the transactions, it may take 2 years to close a transaction.
Okay, wow.
So I became a resident in 2007.
Of Montreal?
Of Canada. I became a resident of Canada, not of Quebec, of Canada, because my application was federal. It was not provincial. So I landed
how do you do that when because you were back in Mexico City?
I was back in Mexico City, but my lawyer, at the time I qualified for a residency, my lawyer was in Canada doing all the paperwork, and I was just waiting for the residency in Mexico, but the paperwork already started.
Okay, so what did you need to qualify to become a resident back then?
I got a job offer, and this you cannot record it. Well, I got a job offer.
Okay, good to know.
I got a
Tell
job
us.
offer. No, I got a job offer
in Canada.
In Canada, to be working in Mexico. This didn't happen really. But the thing is that in Canada, when you have an employee for 1 year, after 1 year you qualify as a resident. So I got my employment for 1 year.
So you're actually working for a Canadian company in Mexico.
Yes.
Okay, and you are doing a job in Mexico as well from 9 till 7?
Yes, because what happened is, remember I told you I had a security company with a client of mine?
Yes.
Because of that, I ran that company for 5 years. And because of that, I know a lot of security. I was a security management consultant. And because of my degree, I was a management consultant in security that it doesn't exist in Canada. So it's a career that Canada really wants it. I got a job offer from a Canadian management security company who has clients in Mexico.
Interesting.
So my job offer was, because nobody else in the world can do it, because they needed someone living in Mexico, dealing with the clients in Mexico in Spanish, and sending all the information to Canada in English.
Oh, wow. And who has the experience of working in security. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now, just to clarify, because people won't realize this, how does the connection between real estate and security, because which came first? Were you working in security, then got into commercial real estate in Mexico, or the other way around?
I was doing commercial real estate in Mexico, and someone asked me to see a piece of land that for me was worthless. So worthless because it was not big, it was not in a commercial avenue, but I promised my client to go see it. So when I go see it, beside that land, it was a security company that I didn't know at that time. It happens to be the second largest cash delivery company in Mexico. I knock on the door and I rent them the land. They became my clients for real estate. I started
Oh,
searching lands for them to build their branches. And then 4 years later, they invited me to create a cargo security company as a partner.
okay, interesting.
So,
So you were there as an agent just looking to possibly see if this piece of land next to the security company could be sold or rented.
yeah,
You naturally thought, well, let's just ask the neighbor if they're interested in renting the land right next to them. And they said yes. And that began a relationship with that company, which eventually led to you actually getting into the security business yourself.
that's correct.
Okay. And did you end the real estate business when you got into security at the time or not?
Uh, I put it like in 20% because
Okay.
in the security company, I was working 80 hours a week.
Oh, wow.
So the other ones I need to sleep on.
Okay.
So in that 5 years, I only closed like 5 transactions of real
Okay.
estate. It was not much.
So this is
Yeah.
all before the Montreal experience. So that's
Yeah.
all, yeah. So that was in your like 30s before you decided to leave.
Well, yeah, because the security company was created in December in 97. And in June 98, I decided to move to Montreal.
Okay. So all
So
happening at once then, wasn't it?
it's a funny story. We can make a Netflix program because
Yeah,
it
I know
is.
we have talked to, we'll have to do the security story another time, but let's keep
Another
going
time.
with
Yes, another time.
the real estate.
So
So you get residency in Canada,
I
you're
got the
working a
resident in
job in
Canada.
Mexico,
Yes.
and you're
So
trying to
I
save
landed
half.
in Canada. I landed in Canada because you need to land. I landed
Okay.
in Canada to get my social security number. And
Okay.
I flew back to Mexico City because I didn't have money to move to Canada. And I waited in Mexico for another 2 years
Wow.
to
Okay.
create enough money in a bank account for me to be able to come back home, that it's Montreal.
Yeah.
So uh, I closed a big transaction in 2009. I mean, it was 85 million US dollars transaction
Wow.
that brought $12 million in commissions. So we were a big team, but still. So that put the $500,000 in the bank account.
One deal, 2 years later.
One deal, and 2 condominiums that I purchased cash in Mexico and I put them to rent. So with that, the day after I put the check in the bank, I took a plane and I came to Montreal,
Wow.
rented an apartment, went back to Mexico, took my cats, my luggage, my clothes, and came back home. I landed the 21st of June in 2009, and I found a school that at that time I could take the real estate course in English. It's very funny because when you're a Canadian citizen or a Canadian resident, to go to real estate, you need to show that you finished high school. As a foreigner, you need a university title.
Oh.
Yeah, it's funny. So it was again spending some time to get all the documents translated into English and French to give to the school. And I started studying the real estate in September 2009.
So
At that time, it was,
you had a
yeah,
degree in Mexico? You've gone to
yes, I have
university?
a degree in business and I have an MBA.
Okay. So
So
the plan then was you had enough savings for 5 years and you were just land in Montreal. Now I'm a resident because the lawyer figured that out while you were working in
yeah.
Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
So you're a resident, you can rent a property, you've got enough money in the bank. Now it's just a case of how do I basically start a new, well, not a completely new career, but were you planning on getting into commercial real estate again at that point?
At that point, yes.
Okay.
But then I realized, and what happened is my license was like the last generation that we have commercial, residential, industrial, and mortgages, if I want to do mortgages, and companies. I can sell companies. I can sell industries. I can sell farms. My license is for everything.
Wow.
Not anymore. Now, when you become a real estate broker, you become a residential real estate broker, and then you specialize in the other fields. Me, I came with all my licenses. And of course, I wanted to do commercial. But something very important is if you don't know people, you don't do commercial.
Mm.
Because again, it's the know who, not the know how.
Mm-hmm.
And here, the properties to this magnitude that I am used to negotiate, or they belong to Orthodox Jews, they don't speak to a woman, or to Muslim people, they don't speak to a woman. So I didn't know anyone to get the contacts to start the career.
Commercial.
So
Okay.
I decided to go for residential. And residential is the bread and butter. Because if you close transactions, let's talk small transactions, but if you close a transaction that is going to give you $5,000, that is a nice monthly payment. It's a nice monthly fee. Okay. And if you close 30 transactions a year at $5,000, you have a living.
A good one.
If you close, a good living. If you close two transactions a year of, I don't know, $20,000 commission, you starve. So what I tell to my friends is, listen, if you eat bread and butter every day, you will get fat. If you eat steak once a week, you're going to starve. So I need you to stop the recording because I need to connect my computer.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Continue.
So
so you were talking about bread and butter versus steak,
yes.
and you tell your friends.
Yeah. So what happened here is, in the school, in the real estate school, they teach you how not to go to jail. I mean, they teach you to fill the forms. They teach you the civil code of Quebec, that I was very lucky because it's exactly the same document that we have in Mexico. And I've been working with the civil code of Mexico for 20 years. So when I came here, for me, the law was like nothing because I already knew it. But they don't teach you how to get clients. They don't teach you how to fix problems. They don't teach you how to react objectively. They don't teach you that. So here I am out of school with a license, and it's like, okay, so where do I start now?
How long did it take to get the license?
It's like 6 months.
Okay.
I think now it's longer, but at that time was 6 months full time in the school.
And how much
plus
does it
the
cost?
Exam. Because I was not a resident from Quebec, because to be a resident of Quebec, you need to live here for 6 months. I think I pay like $1,400 or $1,600.
Okay.
But then you pay the annual fees for the Great Montreal Real Estate Board. That is around $1,000 a year. And then you pay for the OSAQ, that is the organisme de réglementation des courtiers immobiliers de Quebec, that has nothing to do with the real estate board. So that is around $1,600 a year. And then you pay $75 a month for the Great Montreal Real Estate Board thing, plus $600 a year for your liability insurance, because we have a liability insurance too, plus the office fees.
Okay.
Plus, I mean, just being a broker, it will cost you around $10,000 to $12,000 a year before you start making money.
Oh wow! So even if you made 20,000, you really only make 10,000 just from that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Did you do all this in English? Was that all your studies in English?
Yes.
Okay.
At that time, you could do it in English. Now you can do it in English because before it was mandatory in French. Now you can do it in English, but you have to present a French exam that I would have never passed.
Oh. Okay.
So I was lucky enough to be the last generation able to do it in English before they changed the law, because I would have never passed the exam.
Would
My
you
French
pass it?
is still not good.
Oh,
I passed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you start any French language studies at this point either, or you just focused on real estate studies?
I just focused on real estate studies at this time, and I started learning French in the street. Like, you read in both languages, and then they talk to you in both languages, and when they talk to you, you don't understand anything because they have a different accent. My French is street French. I'm sure I have the most horrible accent ever, but now I understand more. So
okay, so you graduate, and then what?
And
What's
like,
your plan?
Now what I do?
What do
I get clients?
Yeah.
So I sign in a real estate agency because you don't know anything. So they come to the school and they offer you everything. So I sign in a real estate agency, and after 3 months, I realized that they were stealing money because they were charging double for everything. Like they were said, we pay the insurance for you, and they were charging $1,200 instead of $600, and we pay the business cards for you, and they charge you $300 instead of $120. So after 3 months, I left because it's like, I cannot trust. I moved to another agency. The first year, someone referred me a buyer, a friend of mine, because it's all about referrals.
Before
But the
we
first,
talk about the buyer, then, do you mind just saying, was there any criteria around choosing an agency? Like that to me sounds like a big decision to make as a brand new agent.
yes, I think I chose the agency because they come to school and they tell you we're the best and we're going to train you. So because they were going to train me, I signed in the agency. And it happens that they don't train you. They don't train you in how to get clients. They don't train you. And it's, I don't know one agency that will train you in how to get clients.
It seems crazy.
Many agencies train you. The agency I am now, they train you a lot in legal matters. What to do if this happens, or what happens with, I don't know, the mortgages or the insurances or things like that. But nobody trains you in how can you get a client? How can you prospect for a client? And prospecting doesn't mean making calls, cold calling. That is not prospecting in real estate. Nobody tell you how. Nobody. It doesn't exist. You need
So
to take a trainer, a coach for that. But also nobody tells you who's the coach. So I choose that agency because they told me they were going to train me.
and they didn't,
And
and
because
they
they
charged you
didn't,
twice.
and they charged me twice, so I left.
And then
3
you
months
went for
later,
another agency. What were you looking for then?
Then I went to another agency because I took a training for the Great Montreal Real Estate Board in how to use the platform, because the platform is very complete, but you need to be training how to use it. And the gentleman who was given the training, he's the one who noticed that I was paying double. And this gentleman had a very small agency, and I went with him because I trust him.
Okay.
And I stayed there for 3 years. So I was very happy working with buyers. Now, how did I get the clients? My first year, I closed one transaction and I made $3,000. That was my commission. It was great.
You felt good?
Oh, it feels good. I was so nervous. So I found someone who was working in a bank, Mexican like me, and I had a deal with him, and he started passing me referrals for buyers who were overqualified. And I started doing presentations in the branches. He was in RBC, in the RBC branches for first-time buyers. So I was going to stage. I have been always very good in stage speaking to people, and I was telling them what was all needed to qualify for a first-time buyer, and also what was implied in the process of the purchasing, since the pre-qualification, choosing the property, making an offer, the inspection, and so. And because of that, I started getting clients.
Was that in English or Spanish or?
It was in English.
Okay.
It was in English. Because of that, in my second year, I closed 11 transactions.
Wow.
It sounds interesting because the average agent, and I'm talking the average of the agents, make 5 to 7 transactions per year. And that is an average. The truth is that some agents make 3 and some agents make 200. But 11 transactions is really good. It's really good. So, and it was very happy.
How much would you make per year if you were able to sort of
stay? That year, I made $70,000.
Okay.
So I went from $3,000 to $70,000, and $70,000 is a salary. I mean, it's a real salary.
Yeah.
You know? So that was good. That means I was not using my money to live. Mm-hmm. Is that my business was providing my living, and that's a very nice feeling. The next year, I didn't get as many referrals as that year, and I made less money. Mm-hmm. So, but very important, I found a coach, a real estate coach, that is a US company, and it cost $1,000 per month, that coach. But this coach taught me how to get clients and how to work in the process of getting referrals to get clients. because I am not good at cold calling, because if I call and you answer me in French, I will black out literally. So I cannot do that. So for me, cold calling is not an option, but referrals are an option. So these 11 clients, when someone taught me how to, oh my God, I'm so good. When someone taught me how to work with these 11 clients, these 11 clients have bought me 300 transactions.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
How did that
Because,
work?
well, you get a referral from one, so you have two clients, and then they refer you another one or two clients. And I just focus again in working with what I have as a network of clients, for these clients to refer me more clients and to work correctly. So when my clients purchase with me, because it was all buyers, when they wanted to sell, they called me. So now I have the sell, and then they are going to purchase, and you start the chain of, it's a chain reaction. But 98% of my business is referrals.
So what's the difference from the point where you had that third year where your business went down a bit and then you took the course? What, like, was there one or two or three things you did differently? Because I understand referrals. It means, like you just said, one client says, hey, my cousin John needs to buy a house too, you should work with Anna. But that didn't happen in that third year. Like, you obviously didn't do something that to generate referrals from those 11 people in that third year. But once you took the course, you'd learn something, or something changed about your mindset.
Yes.
So what
Yes.
is the, like, what do you mean referrals? How do you actually make that happen?
I think the most important is that I was taught in what to say.
Okay.
Because I can give you a referral, but that doesn't mean that you're going to get it. It means you get a referral, but you need to know what to say to this referral in order to have a client working with you and for you to be able to close the transaction. So the most important in this coaching was my mindset, uh, my management of my time and my agenda, and what to say. And
Can we look at those three? What about your mindset changed?
people want to become a real estate broker because they think they can wake up at 10 and they're going to make a $200,000 the first year, and that doesn't happen. My mindset was not to lose focus, because there is a problem when you have $500,000 in the bank. You don't have to work. I mean, it's not enough money, but it's enough money, and yes and no. So you don't really have to work. So in my mindset was, again, to focus and to have a goal. So one, I learned to put my goal there. It's like, how much money, what is your average commission based in my 11 based in my past transactions. So now I can have an average commission, how much money I want to make. If my average commission is $6,000 and I want to make $100,000 or $200,000, how many transactions I need to close, how many calls to my past clients and center of influence I need to do in order to get a referral. But all that is to have the mindset to wake up in the morning and to go do it.
So that
That is the most important.
influences. So the second thing was time management, right? Was that the second thing you
Yes,
said? So
yes.
that sounds like it's linked with mindset.
It's completely linked. It's completely linked. We are well known to work 24/7. I don't. I work 40 hours a week and that's it. We're known to be very disorganized. If you open my agenda is going to say 6 to 7 p.m. exercise, 7 to 7:30 breakfast, 7:30 to 8 shower, 8 to this, and every half an hour I have what to do, but I follow it. And that is the thing. If you don't follow it, you can write it. The mindset helped me to follow my schedule. My time management taught me to put a calendar, but the mindset is the one who makes you get out of bed even if you don't want to get out of bed, and to go exercise even if you don't want to exercise. And there is a reason of why you have to exercise. You don't exercise to be a size 6. You exercise because you're going to start your day in a positive way. Okay. After that, I have there is half an hour for the visualization. You need to visualize where are you going, and you have to do it in the morning. And then you need to do the gratitude exercise. What are you grateful for? That the first day I wrote, I'm grateful because I have toothpaste, because I didn't know what to write. And it may sound very stupid. But when you start your day saying, oh my God, I didn't realize I have toothpaste, I take care of my bad breath in the morning, that puts a positive thinking. I don't want to, it's not la la land, it's not romantic. It's just changing your mindset to the positive. I don't talk coronavirus. Forget it. I don't talk about it. Why? Because I will not allow any bad thought in my brain. So when people ask me, so has it affected you? Like, no. Do you know what's going on? No. That's my mindset. I don't watch the news. Mm-hmm. So time management and mindset come together.
And then the third one was referrals. Was that the third one? Or you learned from the course, or something else?
What to say.
What to say, right.
What to say. And that is the obvious part of the business. Is like, you need to have the scripts in what to say. You need to practice the stupid because I don't want to use the F word for the, okay, it's the nastiest exercise you're going to do in your life. I hate it. And I did it every morning for 2 years from 8:30 to 9 a.m. to do play roll. So I called you, like, I am the agent, you are the buyer, or you're Mr. Seller, and we play roll.
This is with a coach.
To be reading the script. No. Yeah, the coach makes you do the play roll, and I choose my people I'm going to play roll with. Okay. So let's say, because I need to play roll 5 days a week, I call 5 different agents at the same time, and we play roll. It's like, hello, this is Escárcega, the real estate broker. Do you have a minute for me? Blah, 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 blah. Okay. But you need to read the scripts, because there is a script for everything. I take courses of NLP. So, and I take courses with the same coaching company for reading the script. So imagine you are 3 days reading scripts, because the coach is going to tell you, you pause here, you wait a second, your voice goes higher, your voice lower. You just look at him like this, you cross the leg, you mimic, and it's like what to say, but how to say it. It comes to a point that it comes natural. Mm. So now you send me a referral, I call you, and I know exactly what to say and how to say it, but it took me 2 years. Mm-hmm. And every year, my income as transactions is higher. My first year, I closed 1 transaction, and last year, I closed 33 transactions. Mm-hmm. Without an assistant, mm-hmm. Just by myself. And it's because many brokers, they have the assistant and the secretary, and I don't have that.
What was your best year? Was that your best year, or?
33 transactions is my average, but every year I increase the commission percentage. Not the percentage, but the average commission. So my first year, my average commission was $3,000. The last year, my average commission was $10,000. And then you close 33 transactions. It's when you're making money.
Yeah. Multiple 6 figures. Okay, that's fantastic. So yes. I really like those 3 things you learned from the coach. It's very practical. I can see how that changed your process. Do you remember, because we haven't talked about your French being any more of an issue going forward. Was there anything else you can think of that made a big difference? Because it sounds like, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of years we've covered there. But at the end of the day, you went from landing in Montreal, doing your real estate qualification, finding an agency, not a good one, finding a better one, staying with them for 3 years, and then just fixing things, learning more each year, just getting a little bit better, taking a coach, creating these habits to reinforce the positive mindset, learning NLP, practicing scripts for 2 years. And that includes just things like the voice inflection, yes. mirroring all these little things. So it starts to become habit. Is that enough? If someone was to follow in your footsteps and do all the things you just learned, would that get them to where you are today? Or do you think there's something else needed to sort of, especially imagining they're doing this when they're 40 and they're possibly, changing careers, maybe even moving to another city.
Yeah.
Do you think there's anything else that you, especially now in hindsight, you think back over has made a big difference, or is that it?
I think what it makes a big difference is when you know where you want to go. I mean, and when you know what you want to do for everything in life. So, would I do it again? I don't know, because I'm 56. That was 10 years ago, and 10 years ago is a different energy. Discipline. But I think my most important force to do things is called fear. Remember, I was bankrupt before? That will never happen again. Whatever I have to do, that will never, ever happen again in my life. And every morning, I don't want to wake up because I'm lazy. And it's like, oh, Karen, you don't have to wake up. I said, you already have, as of today, 24 transactions closed, and we're half of the year, you're okay. I just put in my mind, do you remember when you have $50 for the week? You want to go there again? So you move your ass, you get out of bed, you go to exercise, you blah, 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 and you have. Each one of us must have a reason of why we do things. Real estate is a very difficult career. It's very easy, but it's not simple. Or I want to say it, I'm sorry to say it. It's very simple. You get a listing, you sell it. You get a client, you buy a house. It's very easy, but it's not simple. When you have a legal complication, that all the complications that we can have today, if you don't know what to do, you're going to lose the transaction, you're going to lose the client, they're going to sue you, and you can go to jail, or you can lose your license, and you can pay a penalty of thousands of dollars, because just opening a file with a lawyer for real estate is around $10,000. And if your insurance doesn't pay you. So what it made a difference to me is when my coach told me, where do you want to go in your life? I don't have kids, but you know that traveling is my passion. So I work 8 months per year, because 3 months per year, I am traveling, doing whatever I want. And I like traveling without seeing how much money I'm spending. That's my reward of the year. That is also my force to keep going. But the most important is the fear of not being able to do it. And also the fear of, I want a career that if I am tired at 70 years old, I want to be able to slow down. So I think it's all connected in your life. It's not just real estate. You want to be a successful real estate broker, you need a good coach. That's the first thing I'm going to tell you. You need to invest in yourself, and don't come and tell me that $1,000 a month is a lot of money, because $1,000 a month is $12,000 a year. That is one transaction. It's maybe two. And if because of that investment in yourself is going to bring you 2 transactions a year, you already made money. You paid for the whole year of your training, and you have additional money in your pocket. Something that have made a difference in my life is that I understand that you need to invest in yourself in order to become better every day. If you don't invest in yourself, you're not going to become better. You need to invest the time. You need to invest money. You need to invest the will. You need to invest in discipline, and you need to invest in mindset. It's not just money. You need to invest in you. You need to be upgrading yourself every year. At the moment you stop that, anything you do in life is going to come low.
Yeah. So what are you, maybe this is our last question too, Anna, what are you working towards now? What keeps you motivated and excited?
My next trip.
What is the next trip? Do you have it planned yet?
Not now.
What was your last trip? I know it, but what did you do last?
My last trip, I was in South Africa volunteering with wildlife, with baboons, and then I went to Spain and Portugal. So I was traveling for 8 weeks, and I just came back in January. What is next in my life? Peace of mind.
Hmm?
I was going to say, I'm going towards peace of mind, uh, and just enjoy life day by day. I mean, my goal is to be happy today. Having a project that I don't know what to do. You know that I like volunteering, so I'm going to be volunteering. I donate a lot of money to organizations that works with wildlife in a monthly basis. Right now, I'm planning to move maybe to British Columbia because I got tired of the weather. And this is very important because if I move to British Columbia, I need to start from zero again.
Yeah.
It's just that I'm going to be 57, so I'm working towards having 1 month. What I want in my bank account, because what I have now saved is for my retirement. But now I need to save an additional year of expenses. Because when I moved to British Columbia, of course, I know a lot more than I knew 10 years ago. So for me, it's going to take me 1 year to start producing money, or real money, let's say.
Mm.
That is going to cost some. That is going to cost $150,000. I need to work enough and produce enough to have an additional $150,000 in my company, so my company can support me moving to British Columbia for a year. I think that is my next. And
So
I
that,
don't have long-term goals. My longest term goal is in 3 years.
okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I think some great information here. Some
Thank
things
you.
I didn't know about you. I
Oh,
didn't
really?
didn't know you were an NLP practitioner. I feel like I'm going to watch out for your mirroring and your your
You
voice.
haven't noticed my mirroring?
No,
Really?
not specifically. No, no.
I'm going to stand up, so I'm going to say like, really? Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I haven't noticed those things. Plus, just also, I think there was some very practical information there
Thank you.
for those who might want to follow in your footsteps and just be quicker, because that's the benefit of what you did in 3 years, maybe as a real estate agent, they can do in 1.5, just because they
Definitely. It's
take
one and
the
a half.
yeah.
It takes 1.5. Yeah.
Right. So that's good. No, appreciate it. Anna, anywhere you want to send people to, any website in case they want to get in touch with you or anything like that?
Uh, well, you can share my email address if you want.
It's up to you. You don't have to.
Yeah, I mean, if something that I enjoy very much is helping people. And I receive a lot of calls. I mean, and I'm not saying in the romantic way. I receive a lot of calls for people who doesn't know what to do and they call me. So if I can be of help that way, I think it's my way to be grateful for what I have, is to share what I have. So if you want to do something about it and you want me to tell you what I did or what I think is necessary to do in order to get it, and I'm very happy if you share my email. Uh, the only thing I tell you, and you know me a little, is I don't lie and I don't sugarcoat. So when people ask me, my question is going to be, do you want me to tell you what I think, or do you want me to tell you what you want to hear? Because it may be two different things, no?
Right. Right.
If if I can be of help, it's my pleasure for
Okay.
anything.
All right. Well,
So share it. Yeah.
I'll put your email with the article, but obviously people can ask questions through the platform. But if
Of course.
they want to get more, yeah, we'll have to get you a domain name. We need to get annaescazarga.com set up.
I got
So
it, but
you got
I
it?
stopped paying it.
See,
I stopped paying it.
we need to get that going in. Okay. Well, no, thank
Yes.
you for your time, Anna. I appreciate that.
Thank you,
And
Harold.
obviously I'll see you soon.
Yes.